After multiple audits and months of patience from the community, I'm super excited to say that the Paribus application is officially live on the mainnet. What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the Dapp Central YouTube channel. I'm your host here, Fareed, and as always, I'm going to be giving you guys some updates here surrounding the Paribus project. If you don't know about Paribus, they're going to be a platform for lending and borrowing of exotic assets, NFTs, as well as normal fungible tokens. Now, over the course of the last few months, we have seen the team undergoing a few audits in order to prepare for the mainnet. Without any further ado, I'm super excited to announce that the platform has officially launched live on the Arbitrum mainnet. Now, there have been quite a few questions here surrounding why Paribus officially launched on an Ethereum layer 2 platform as opposed to Cardano. And as a part of today's video, I want to talk a little bit about that and again, celebrate the fact that they are officially live for people to use on the mainnet. So first things first, let's break down this article here, which was released about 11 hours ago or at about 3 p.m. UTC when the app went live. So it states here, we are thrilled to announce that our mainnet is officially launched. This first iteration of the Paribus platform sets the stage for future versions to come. Now, if you guys are not aware, as a part of their roadmap, this was going to be the very first iteration to be released. And what we can expect moving forward will be the integration of NFTs, exotic assets, and then on top of that, we're expecting a governance platform as well as Paribus Pro for institutional adoption. So without any further ado, if we navigate to app.paribus.io, we can actually see the app live on mainnet. That said, this is going to be live on the Arbitrum network, which actually runs on top of Ethereum as a layer 2 network. So if you have a MetaMask, all you need to do is connect your MetaMask to the application. If you're on the incorrect or the wrong network, it'll actually prompt you to navigate or to switch over into Arbitrum. Once you do that, you can get access to the platform. And as you guys can see here, I've got my dashboard. Now I haven't actually deposited any assets here, so all the balances are going to be set at 0 right now. I can quickly jump into the markets here where we can see that right now there's about $22,000 worth of Ethereum locked onto the platform with a little bit over 20,000 of wrapped Bitcoin and an additional 20,000 of USDT. If we go into the liquidations page here, because I don't actually have any positions open, I don't expect to see anything, which as you guys can see, I'm not presented with anything. But in the event that I did actually have a position open, I could see exactly how much my liquidity is actually worth and how close I am to getting liquidated on the protocol. So that's going to be it there. Again, they are available on the testnet, which is going to be on the Gurley network on Ethereum. Now, what I want to move over into is going to be their recent article here. There's going to be two articles that I want to break down. And so the first is going to be actually surrounding all of the features and all the different steps that you can take when using the Paribus protocol. So this is titled Every Step of the Way. If you guys don't already follow Paribus on Medium, I recommend that you go ahead and do so, as these articles are extremely helpful. So when you're actually logging on to the Paribus protocol or when you're accessing the Dapp, the first thing you're going to need to do is go ahead and actually set up a wallet. Now they do recommend MetaMask here. And that's actually what I was using earlier when I showed you guys my wallet connected to the Dapp. Now you can use any ERC20 compatible wallet. So if you got a wallet that runs on Ethereum or that can connect to the Ethereum network, you should be able to use that. Next, you're going to want to connect to the mainnet. As I mentioned before, once you actually connect your wallet, if you're using something like MetaMask, it does a really good job of actually connecting you to the mainnet or switching you over to the Arbitrum network if you're on any other network. Number 3, you're going to want to pick your side. So when you come into the actual protocol, you're going to want to decide whether you're going to want to lend your assets to borrowers or whether you're going to be using the platform to actually borrow against the assets that you put up as collateral. Now, they're going to break both of these options down. So the first is going to be lending your crypto. And so that basically is broken down here, and it walks you through the process of actually creating a deposit directly on the Paribus protocol. The second option here is to borrow crypto as long as you have collateral to put up. So again, you can pick either option. You're not forced to do either one, but you are available to do either as you see fit. Now, once you're done with your option, whether you're lending or borrowing, you have the option to pay back your loan and actually withdraw your crypto. So that's going to be step number 6. And then if you've actually borrowed crypto, you're going to want to pay back that loan before you're eligible to withdraw any of your collateral that you had put down initially. Very lastly, they talk about checking your liquidity, making sure that the health of your loan, if you're borrowing, is always stable. And that basically walks through the process of verifying everything on that liquidations page that I just showed you guys there. Now, moving over into the second article here, this was just released earlier today as soon as the mainnet announcement went live. So again, this is going to be breaking down some of the key highlights here of the Paribus protocol and what we can expect moving forward. So it states here initially, the protocol will offer wrapped Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDT. However, engineers are currently working on integrating NFTs into the next iteration of the protocol. So that's what I mentioned earlier. This is going to be the very bare bones first iteration of the Paribus protocol. But as we begin to see it mature, we can expect to see additional code audits and the additional integration of exotic assets as well as NFTs. Now, the unique approach Paribus takes towards these more exotic assets is to leverage artificial intelligence, or AI, and machine learning, or ML systems to assess an accurate value for every supported NFT collection. Now, this is extremely exciting to hear, given the fact that we are seeing the rise of AI even outside of Paribus continue to explode. Now, I had the pleasure of actually interviewing Dennis as well as Wilson as a part of Rare Bloom in 2023 or 2022, excuse me. And during that process, they talked about having a automated way of actually dictating the value or the price of NFTs on their platform. I think they're going to be using more than 30 different data points based on the collections in order to determine the value of a given NFT when it comes to using it as collateral. Now, this is going to be very similar to what we see with platforms on Cardano, like Lending Pond, as well as Fluid tokens. Now, the one thing about these other platforms, though, is that the user asking for the loan actually dictates the value of the NFT. So in many cases, the person who's supplying the liquidity in exchange for that collateral may not always get the best deal. But if we're using AI and machine learning in order to do that, that should hopefully give the lender as well as the borrower a much fairer deal, given that nobody is actually setting the price themselves and it's all being done in an automated way. Now, moving down into the bottom of this article here, they talk about some key facts surrounding the Paribus protocol. So the first key fact is that initially they're going to be launching on Arbitrum and building for Cardano. If you guys are not aware, the Paribus team actually started off on Ethereum and they're now migrating to Cardano. Now, this was announced as a part of May of last year in 2022, and they're going to be gearing up to actually be native on Cardano, in addition to also having a protocol live on Ethereum. Now, this does not surprise me whatsoever, given that we've also seen other projects like Meld announce a very similar thing. We've seen World Mobile. We've also even seen Book.io also going multi-chain. And so I think this is going to be a brand new narrative, and that we're going to see more protocols being live on multiple blockchains. That said, right now they are live on Arbitrum, and keep in mind that because these smart contracts that were audited were all ERC20 based or Ethereum based, that all of the liquidity and market cap here being put on the Paribus protocol, will all be going towards Ethereum. As we begin to see the actual Cardano platform come online and we get those smart contracts audited and that particular platform goes live on the mainnet, we should then begin to see all of that liquidity and market cap going towards TVL being counted in Cardano. Now, moving straight into the second fact here, it states that the PBX token, which is PBX for short, has now become a Cardano native token trading on Wingrider. So this was the very first step in their migration towards becoming a Cardano native project. So not only can you actually go ahead and trade PBX on the Ethereum network on dexes such as Uniswap, excuse me, but you can also trade it on centralized exchanges such as KuCoin. Now, keep in mind that if you're trading on exchanges like KuCoin, that you're always going to want to make sure that if you are trading the ERC20 version of the token, that you're sending that to a MetaMask wallet or a wallet that supports the ERC20 version of the token. You cannot move or send your ERC20 tokens directly to a Cardano wallet. Guys, keep that in mind. You will lose your assets. As of the time of that I'm shooting this video, there is currently no bridging mechanism to convert your assets from ERC20 back over into the Cardano native token. So if you want to purchase the Cardano native token, you can do that directly from Wing Riders. And I do have a fully dedicated video showing you guys how to do that as a part of my Paribus playlist. So go ahead and check that out if you guys are interested in actually doing that and purchasing PBX directly on Cardano. Similarly, if you hold it on Cardano, don't try to send that to your Ethereum-based wallet, as you will lose your tokens. Now, the third fact here is going to be that the PBX or the Paribus protocol is being supported by Charles Hoskinson's C Fund. If you're not familiar with C Fund, they're going to be an organization investing directly into Cardano native protocols. And so not only has the Paribus team already launched their token, but they're being invested into by C Fund. Fourth, they're going to be focused on developing a method to use exotic assets as collaterals, which include NFTs, LPs, synthetics, and etc. And so we already kind of touched on this here, so I'm not going to harp too much on this. But as we begin to see newer versions of the Paribus protocol, we can expect to see additional assets being adopted, making this a one-stop shop when it comes to lending and borrowing. Fifth, we're going to have AI and ML, which, as I mentioned before, stands for artificial intelligence and machine learning, pricing models, which will allow for instant loans rather than old-fashioned P2P models. That's exactly what I was talking about when I mentioned lending pond as well as fluid tokens. Those are all peer-to-peer. However, Paribus is going to be bringing a brand new approach with a peer-to-pool model where any asset can be traded and interacted on almost instantly. Next, we have user funds will always be user controlled, locked in smart contracts, and never held by the protocol. So again, really taking the time to make sure that this is not only useful for the general public, but making sure that it's actually safe. I had a fully dedicated video about a week ago highlighting the fact that they just completed their hack and audit, and they actually got audited 3 separate times before feeling comfortable and releasing this on the mainnet. Now, they weren't only audited by Tweak, they were also audited by the Hacking Club. And so they had 2 separate auditors reviewing this protocol and making sure that things were safe, accurate, and secure. And again, here, the protocol will never hold your assets. Everything will always be held in smart contracts, as it should be done in a decentralized manner. Now, closing in on the last 3 key facts here, the mainnet has passed 2 separate hack and security audits pre-launch. Again, I just literally touched on that there. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Very lastly, or second to last, the most recent audit was completed on March 16th. And then very lastly, the bug bounty program through Immunify to ensure ongoing security are still going for the protocol. So if you guys are using the Paribus platform, you guys find any bugs, you can go ahead and report them in order to be rewarded with, I think it's going to be the PBX token. That said, that was quite a bit of key facts there. Again, I'm going to leave the link to both of these articles down in the description below. The last thing I want to do is give a shout out to a really big member here within the Paribus community, and that's going to be PBX Leviathan. Now, this wonderful person here has done a good job of basically summarizing all of the benefits that Paribus is bringing online versus competitors such as Aave, NFTFi, Nexo, and BendDAO. So as you guys can see here, Paribus will be multi-chain. It'll support conventional assets. It'll be peer-to-pool, which will support instant loans. They'll also have Paribus Pro coming online for institutional adoption, and they'll also be including NFTs as collateral as a part of their future versions. Scrolling down, we're going to have LPs as collateral, AI valuations as an algorithm, which, as you guys can see, is not supported by any other platforms just yet, only Paribus. Now, once Paribus actually executes on this, I definitely think that this will be much more regarded within the space, and we may see additional platforms begin to do the same thing. In closing here, we can see that Paribus will also support metaverse lands and meta mortgages, as well as have their own governance platform labeled vPBX and a DAO. And then very lastly, they'll support synthetic assets as well, very similar to what we have with Indigo on Cardano. If you're not familiar with synthetics, they're basically going to provide you the price exposure to a certain asset that may not be native to the blockchain that you're trading it on. In closing, we have the last audit here performed within the actual month of March, whereas some of these other competitors have not had recent audits, with the exception of BendDAO. Now, the last key thing here is going to be the market cap. So as you guys can see here, Paribus has a market cap when this graphic was made of $6.7 million. Whereas Aave, which is one of the biggest lending protocols on Ethereum, had a market cap of about $1 billion. So a much steeper market cap compared to Paribus. They don't have one for NFTFi. And then we have Nexo at 324 million, and then BendDAO with a similar amount as Paribus, around 7 million. So if Paribus can execute, I think that there's going to be so much room for the upside here. But again, it is up to you guys to do your own research. I just wanted to bring this to your guys' attention and give a shout out here to PBX Leviathan. That is going to wrap it up here for today's brief update here, celebrating the fact that the Paribus protocol is officially live on the Arbitrum mainnet. If you guys have been following this protocol just like I have, then I'm sure you guys are just as excited. As we begin to get more features rolling out here, which include NFTs and synthetic assets here, I'll definitely be releasing additional updates, keeping you guys in the loop. If you guys found this video to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you want more PBX content, consider subscribing. And if you guys have any questions for me about the protocol or anything that I discussed today, then make sure to leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.